bonjour, bienvenidos, benvenuti, welcome to the Music Polyglot channel. Exactly a year ago, I was wearing the same jumper and I did a video for what was then Lizzy McAlpine's new song, Erase Me. Now, at the time when we recorded that tutorial, there was really very little in terms of videos of her playing the song on her own. But now we have a lot more material, so I wanted to do an update, really, to show you exactly how she plays it. All right, here we go. The first thing to mention is that we are in standard tuning, which is actually quite unusual for Lizzy. But we do have a capo on fret 2. So you know that when we have a capo, you refer to the frets after the capo as if capo was 0. So if I say the first fret, it's this one, second, third, etc., etc. We're going to start looking at the rhythm first, because that's probably the trickiest bit. But at the same time, once you have it down, it repeats throughout the whole song. So it makes sense to look at this first. For that, we're going to focus on the first 2 chords of the song. So let me show them to you. The first chord is a type of E minor 7 that you are probably not used to playing. So let me break it down for you. So we have the open 6th, and then we have 2 fingers. I suggest you use fingers 2 and 3. That's middle finger and ring finger. On the 5th and 4th strings, on the 5th fret, remember that's 5 from the capo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So on the 5th fret from the capo, and you play only the bottom 4 strings. The second chord uses the exact same fingering and shape, except that just down a semitone, i.e. 1 fret. That gives you a type of E minor 6/9. Let me play it for you a couple of times so that you see what's going on. So the rhythm goes like this: 3, 4. Slower. Okay, we're going to break it down. The first thing to notice and to mention is that we're actually not using a pick. Liz doesn't use a pick when she plays this live. She uses mainly her thumb and her index to strum. That's why the strumming sounds quite soft. You will have noticed that that's actually kind of a key feature of her guitar sound. It's very noticeable in songs like Ceilings, for example, where the whole pattern is played and strummed with the thumb. So she uses that quite a lot. Now the rhythm. This is a semiquaver or 16th note based rhythm. What does that mean? Well, that means that if you have your beat, say here, 1, 2, 3, 4, that beat is subdivided into 4 notes. So you need to fit in 4 notes in that one beat. And you do that by playing 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a down, up, 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 down, up. Okay? So that means that your hand, your right hand, your strumming hand, on each beat, it's going down, up, right? 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Cool. So now that we have that, we can break the pattern down beat by beat. So the first beat, let's say that our tempo is here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember that your hand goes down, up, 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 down, up on every beat. And that will be regardless of whether you're playing or not. This is actually key to keep in time and to be able to play these rhythms without having to think too much about them. Okay, so beat 1 will go like this. 1, up, 3, 4. 1, up, 3, 4. 3, 4. 3. I'll add beat 2. 3, 4. 1, a 2 E and 3, 4. 1, a 2 E and 3, 4. 3, 4. I'll add beat 3. 1, a 2, E and up. 1, a 2, E and up. Cool. So I'll add the 4th and E and a 4 and a 1, a 2, E and a 4 and a 1, a 2 E and a 4 and a 1, a 2 E and a 4 and a 1, a 2 E and a 4 and a 1. I'm going to change chords now to the second chord. 1, a 2 and a 4 and a. So that's 1 bar on each. That's the rhythm. And the good news is that that rhythm repeats throughout the whole song, apart from a couple of little places that we'll look at in detail in due course. But this is the main rhythm, so I would definitely spend some time getting it down. Now you will have noticed that now that I played it, it sounded a bit rough and not very polished and not really like the demo that I played at the beginning. And you may be wondering what's different to how he played it at the beginning. Well, first of all, it's played really softly. So I played it a bit louder now just to make sure that you could hear every single note, but it's actually played more like. And if you listen to Lizzy playing this as well, you'll notice that she barely strums at all. Sometimes she even palm mutes. Right, so you should actually aim at getting close to that by strumming really softly. That's why using just your thumb and index also helps, because it allows you to drop the dynamics all the way down to that really subdued level. And the other thing, this is a bit more of an advanced thing. I would only really try and get into this next part if you have the pattern down already. And that's the accents that you will have seen on the score that I provided. By the way, if you want the full thing as a PDF, that's on my Patreon page, link in the description. So you have accents, right? You're accenting the first beat, 1, a 2 E and a 4. 1, a 2 E and a 4. Right? So you have those 3 accents. The first one on 1, then on the end of 2, and then on 4. Those are really the only 3 that where you want to hear the full strum. Everything else needs to be really softly, ideally with the thumb. But you still want to hear the rhythm. That's what makes it tricky. Right? So if I slow that right down, you would have. So now that we have that rhythm, we know how to play it, let's play the whole verse. It's the same rhythm throughout. I'll be talking you through the chords. So first we have that E minor 7. You have that E minor 6, 9, and you just go from one to the other. Until you hit that C with a G in the bass. This is like an E major shape, except that you're on the bottom 3 strings and on the 2nd and 3rd frets, right? And you really only want to aim at hitting the bottom 3 strings. And then you just drop the same shape as semitone down, so that will make it a B major, but just with the bass in the F sharp. These are called inversions. And then back. to the E minor, sixth, 9. So when you get to that chorus, you're back at that C with a G in the bass. You go up 2 frets, exactly the same shape, you're fading. So that chord is an A minor 7. So you'll see Lizzy play it like that with a thumb, kind of very John Mayer type of thing. You can do the same thing. So what you want to do is you want to stop the bottom string on the 5th fret from the capo. Right. And that thumb then is also muting the 5th string. And then you have fingers 2 and 3 on the left hand on strings 4 and 3. Right. Also on the 5th fret. So you have that. You can do that. You can also just use your index, which is my preferred way, right? And I can also mute the 5th string with that index. If you get a hint of the open B, that's actually quite nice. So don't try and get rid of that all the time, because you see, that gives you that A minor 9 type of sound that you do get, especially on the record. That comes out a lot more. Okay, so you have that. And then you move on to this one bar that breaks the rhythm pattern. It plays 2 chords. First chord is an E minor, just the E minor that you know. And then you have a B minor over F sharp, which is just like an E minor shape, except that you drop to the 6th and 5th strings. And you only want to hit the bottom 3 strings, right? And the pattern here goes 1, 2, and a 3, 4, and a. Again, slow. Right? 1, 2, and a 3, 4, and a. The idea is that you want to hear 2 beats on each chord, so don't get caught up in kind of overcomplicating the rhythm. Really, if you get 1, 2, 3, 4, that's the idea. That's what you want. And then you're back. C over G, D over A minor 7. Again, the E minor, B minor, C over G. And here again, you break it down to 1, 2 on the C over G, and down 1 fret to the B over F sharp. If you happen to hear that open G there as well, that's lovely. That makes it an augmented chord. And don't overdo it, but you know, don't worry too much if you actually get a hint of that, because that is a welcome note in that chord. And actually it is required a bit later, but we'll talk about that when we get there. So how's it going so far? You know that if you need tabs, all that is available to all my Patreons on my Patreon page, link in the description. After the bridge, you go back to a chorus, except that it's a breakdown, right? So you don't strum everything, you just hold a note. So you start with that C over G, don't answer me. Then you have that D over A, then the A minor 7, you're fading. Then you have the E minor to the B minor over F sharp. You start strumming again, same chords as before. You're fading. You're fading. Then you're gonna have this quick break, right? On the next C over G. Don't have too much in and out of one and us. You're fading. And then you just carry on with the same chords. You will erase. That ending chord is again that B over F sharp. And here you definitely want to allow that G string to ring out. And then your final chord is an E minor 9, which is like a power chord on the 5th and 4th strings. On the 2nd fret, 2nd and 4th, and then you play everything open. Lovely E minor 9. So it's time to talk about the bridge. I left it till the end because it's actually slightly different to everything else we've seen so far. So the chords are the same in a different order. We have C over G and D over A. mainly. Okay, let me show you the rhythm first, and we'll go through the other two chords that we have there. So again, we have a 16th note based pattern that goes like this. I'll slow it down. 3, 4. Okay, let's do this the same way as we did the main pattern. We'll break it down into its 4 component beats. So let's say that our tempo is going to be here, 3, 4, the 16th notes, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. And I'll just play the first of those 4 beats. Here it goes. 4, 1 E and a 2, 3, 4, and again. Okay, we play all 4 16th notes. 1 E and a 2, 3. I'll add the second beat. 1 E and a 2, up, 4. 1 E and a 2, up. I'll add the third beat. 1 E and a 3 E and a 1 E and a 3 E and a, and again 1 E and a 3 E and I'll add the fourth 1 E and a. Okay, so that's the main pattern, especially at the beginning. Then from that C over G, you're going to move on to a D over A. So it's the same shape, 2 frets further up, as you know. The pattern changes a little bit when you get to that chord. So let's play those 2 bars that you have right here. You see, you can probably tell just visually how that pattern changes when you get to the D over A. It sounds like this: 3, 4. So 1 E and a 3 E and a 1 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Same thing again. Right, so far so good. So the perspicacious amongst you will have noticed that on the of 2 and 4, I don't actually stay in the chord, I play open strings. So right, I'm exaggerating. Right. This is a very kind of guitar-y device that you use to transition from chord to chord. That actually sounds quite cool, and it helps things bridge without you having to do incredibly quick changes that may backfire. So feel free to use that if you like it and if you feel that it helps. So once you've played that C over G to the D twice, then we move on to the A minor 7, and the rhythm is the same as on the C over G. 1 E and a 3 E and a 1 E and a. Same thing on the D over A. So on that B augmented, really, because we have the open G. So on that B augmented over F sharp, we have 1 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, and then we hold it. And the rest we've looked at already. So that's it. If that was useful, please don't forget to like the video and to subscribe to the channel for more tutorials. If you want tabs, all that is in my Patreon page, to which I'll leave a link in the description below. And also, if you'd like a one-on-one free lesson on this song, contact me through my website, or you can DM me on Instagram as well. Thank you for staying till the end, and see you next time. Hasta la próxima, arrivederci, au revoir.